I knew something was wrong the moment I turned the key and felt pause. The kind of hesitation a house shouldn't have. Homes breathe with you. Yours echoes your footsteps, your routines, your life. Mine felt like it was inhaling someone else. So I walked out, locked the door, and pretended I was leaving for a week to visit my sister. A lie crafted with precision, just loud enough for the right ears, just believable enough for him. I didn't go far, just across the street, hidden in the shadows, waiting for the truth to crawl out of my walls. That's when the old neighbor, Mrs. Hale, gripped my shoulder. Her fingers were cold, her eyes colder. "Wait until midnight," she whispered. "You will see everything." I didn't ask how she knew. I was too tired of half-truths and polite blindness. Midnight sounded like justice. Back then, before the rot. He wasn't always a shadow in my home. Once, he was the warmth that made everything else make sense. The man who touched my face like I was fragile and spoke my name like a promise. We met in a coffee shop during a winter storm. He offered me his scarf. I returned it after 2 days, washed, folded, and already carrying feelings I hadn't named. We grew fast, too fast maybe. Trust came easily, hope came naturally. So when he proposed, I didn't hesitate. I tied my future to him with a full heart. I didn't know he would untie his loyalty with empty hands. The first crack. It started small, a message he hid too quickly, a smile that wasn't meant for me, business trips that didn't align with his coworkers' calendars, perfume that wasn't mine. I watched quietly. People think silence means ignorance. It doesn't. Silence is data collection. And the night I found the unfamiliar earring under our bed, small, gold, shaped like a teardrop, I didn't cry. I just shifted. Emotion off. Strategy on. The plan. I didn't confront him. That's what amateurs do. No, I studied him like an enemy. His spending habits. His passwords he thought I didn't know. His late-night calls. The way he wiped his browser history but forgot to clear synced devices. The betrayal wasn't one woman. He was running a whole chorus of lies. Financial, emotional, physical. So I did what a calm, wounded, focused woman does. I built my escape like a trap. First, I separated my finances, quietly. New accounts. A lawyer who worked silently like a shadow with a degree. Evidence gathered, dated, organized. Then I planted my own rumor. I'd be away for a week. He relaxed instantly, the way guilty people do when they think they've been gifted privacy. Good. Privacy is where people expose themselves. Midnight. The truth shows its teeth. At 11:58 p.m., the house was dark, still, dead. At 11:59, the lights flicked on. At 12 o'clock, the door opened, and she walked in. Then another, and another. 3 women, all carrying bags, all entering a home that wasn't theirs. Then he followed them, laughing, casual, free. Mrs. Hale stood beside me, arms folded, as if watching a play she'd seen a dozen times. "That man treats your house like a hotel," she murmured. "You deserve better." I didn't breathe. Not from shock. Shock had left me weeks ago. What I felt was confirmation. The final piece of evidence for the courtroom of my revenge. They drank my wine, used my couch, treated my life like a stage for their games. And he, my husband, kissed one of them with a familiarity that stabbed but didn't bleed me. Pain had turned to clarity long ago. The fall. The next morning, before dawn, the police arrived. Not for violence, not for noise, for fraud. Because while he was busy betraying my heart, he was also forging my signature. On loans, on credit lines, on documents he believed I'd never see. But I had seen everything, and I handed the evidence to the authorities with steady hands. He was arrested in front of the same women he'd entertained in my living room. The shock on his face was almost cinematic. "You did this?" he whispered as they cuffed him. I didn't smile. Revenge doesn't need theatrics. "I just stopped covering for you," I said. His whole world collapsed in the space between those words. The payoff. By noon, the house was mine, legally, irreversibly. His finances were frozen, his affairs exposed, his life reduced to a folder of charges and a list of people willing to testify. And I finally walked back into my home. It breathed correctly again, quiet, empty, mine. Mrs. Hale watched from her porch, gave me a nod, and disappeared inside. A silent witness, a quiet ally. I stood in the center of my living room, where strangers had touched my things hours before, and felt something unexpected. Not anger, not sadness, not triumph. Peace. Because revenge isn't the moment they fall. It's the moment you rise without needing them anymore. And that night, while the house settled around me like a loyal animal returning to its owner, I whispered the truth I had earned. I saw everything, and I lost nothing that mattered.